on this show, we've talked a lot about Leary, so I want to talk a little bit more about Ram Dass, because when I was watching the film, and like you said, we come at this caricature of the two men, and I've always had mixed feelings about Timothy Leary. I thought he made a lot of his own problems.
Yeah.
And certainly he wasn't responsible for all the things that was put upon him. But let's talk about Ram Dass. What is one of the most surprising things that you learned about Ram Dass, Richard Alpert, from this film?
God, what did I not learn? I mean, looking at the arc of his life, and because this took so long, I mean, I started in 1995, set it down for a lot of years. Ram Dass had a stroke in 97. And Ram Dass, even from 95 through today, because he's still alive and lives in Maui, and is really impacting even a whole new generation. These kids show up at some of these screenings with Be Here Now under their arm. They've really learned a lot through his website, ramdass.org, which has a lot of his teachings, both old and new, on his website. But to see how much more he even had to grow since his stroke, and that enlightenment doesn't happen overnight, as much as we all may strive for certain things like that. His practice, a lifelong practice, he's as close to anybody I've ever known to living in a state of unconditional love.
Ram Dass, I mean...
And yet, the thing that surprised me was he thought he was finished with his growth before his stroke. And then he realized how much further he had to go.
I did not know until this film that he was gay. And then at the, maybe that's how out of the loop I am. But like I said,
he hadn't talked about it publicly.
Right, and I haven't revisited a lot of this material for a long time. In the film, you show that, 5 years ago or something, he finds out he has a son out of nowhere. I mean, that's a huge change in your life.
Yeah, a beautiful son, too.
Yes.
They didn't even know who he was. He had to Google him. Had no idea who Ram Dass or Richard Alpert was. So that was a surprise. It's a beautiful man. Peter is his name. And they now have a nice, beautiful relationship with a family, and they visit. And he's got that kind of compassionate heart that Ram Dass says. You just want to sit down and pour your heart out to him. So yeah, lots of surprises in this film.